Hello there, honoured guests of the stream. And also, if you're watching this on YouTube, hello to you too. Welcome to Spreadsheets in Space. I should go for the voice. Spreadsheets in Space. It's gonna be very cool. So if you don't know, and you haven't been paying attention, oh god, my autofocus is on. Oh god, no. 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 It's alright, I dealt with it. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. No one freak out. No one panic. No one panicking. I'm not panicking. You shouldn't be panicking. Stop panicking. Cool. So, what I was about to say, before I was so rudely interrupted, is that if you haven't been paying attention, I have been streaming and playing and running a game of Stars Without Number over on twitch.tv/encounterroleplay. That'll be in the description below if you're watching this on YouTube. We're a fine group of gentlemen and gentle ladies who play a lot of role-playing games. And they were like, yo, do you want to play some role-playing games with us? And I was like, yeah, that sounds fun. And the idea of it has been that each week you get a new group in who go around and they run jobs for this mercenary group called the Wildcards. Hence the name up here. See it? Smart like that. And in the process they do things like... One second. Cannot shake this bug. And in the process they've done things like smuggle stuff onto planets, rescue crashed mech suits, prototype mech suits. They've also been offered to do things like knock over a bank and get a lot from an auction as a representative and things like that. And this game all takes place with anything called Stars Without Number. But the cool thing about Stars Without Number, one of the many cool things about Stars Without Number, I should say, is that it has a complete mini-game set aside for the GM, which is to say me, where I get to play with some spreadsheets, roll some dice, talk a lot of fictional fluff, and decide how the rest of the universe is moving around when no one else is having a look, which I find really cool. So yeah, let's get on with it. So I have found some spreadsheets. Is that readable? Is that readable for you guys? It's all right. It's all right. It's a little misshapen. That looks better. Yeah. Move that there. Cool. So, these are the factions that we are currently working with. If you've been watching, you will know the Sons of the Spike. Sons of Spike are a psychic terrorist group that the last party met in the last session. We then have Renlost Securities, who are a mercenary group currently working. They've got a job, kind of contract on offer towards the Wildcards that they might take at some point soon. Spacefaring mercenary group. We have Barse Enterprises, who are a huge mining company, but also have their hands on a lot of other things in the... I forgot to open one of the very important documents for this stream, because I'm a fool, and I forget things too easily. Which is to say this thing. Which is not an up-to-date map, so don't pay too much attention to it. But they are working at the Bella Node sector. I could have just gone in here. I'm a fool. Yes, Bell Node sector down here. So they work up. They're based off a planet called Alshaf, but they actually run a bunch of things across the other planets in that same system. They're a very large corporation. They basically live mine the nearby world of. So they're based off of Alshaf. They mine the very unstable planet Hala. And also run the planet Aniz as a kind of industrial assembly line, which is undetected, and they use the kind of entire planet as unpleasant slave labor. It's it's a capitalism gone mad. And Barse aren't like totally the people in charge of that, but they help out a lot. Hello to you, Sue, in the chat. Then we have the Evilese Combine, who we met in the first episode, who is a starship making company based off of the planet Gorgias. You can see here. Oh dear, no, I didn't want to do that. Undo! No! No, how do I undo? Evalise Combine. My bad. Yeah, so they're a starship making company. They also manufacture mechs, and are actually the planetary government of the planet of Gorgias. We'll get into their history and stuff in a minute, but they're the people who the party worked for in the first episode of this show, rescuing a downed prototype off of their world. This is not actually a faction. This is just a reminder to show you that the Evalise Combine are the planetary government of the planet Gorgias. Then we have the Divine Empire of Thrasymedes, which are people. We were on that planet in episode 2, which was all about like this emperor who's kind of a god with crazy overpowered psychic powers, and we're going to see what he's all about, and that's his kind of empire, and they also in the same point, they're the planetary government of Thrasymedes. And finally we have this organization called Ombre de Toile, who are going to be my criminal underworld drug dealing general unpleasant people in the sector. We've actually met a representative of theirs in the at the end of the last session, the man known as Jace. We only got his first name. We don't really know much else about him yet, but he works for those people, and to a lesser extent, Walker Schofield is involved with them as well. But yeah, so these are the fractions we're going to start with. I'll get more into about what they are as we get round to them, but I'll explain how the system works first of all. So every faction has a few stats, as it were, much like player characters. They have 3 stats, in fact: force, cunning, and wealth. So these represent a faction's ability to kind of do related things. My mouse is flickering weirdly. So your force rating represents not necessarily your ability to just the number of soldiers you have, but your ability to bring force to bear, your kind of willingness to use force, your faction's leanings towards force. So even if you have a small army, you still have a high force. If your army is if you're the SAS, you have a very high force, despite being smaller than most standing armies, but you're badasses. Cunning, similar. High cunning represents very intelligent and sensible people, and wealth is an accumulation of money and how much kind of assets you have to throw around. Not necessarily cash. For instance, one wealth might just be that you have some land but you have a house and a bit of cash, whereas 8 wealth might be you own planets. You own all the land on the planet and therefore own the planet. Not necessarily cash flow, but yeah, you have assets that you've just bought. The height of these also determines the level of assets you can buy. We'll get to those in a moment. You also have HP, which is the faction's cohesion. So it's not literally if you hit the logo of faction 15 times, it'll die. It's kind of the Sons of the Spike's ability to organize itself, to talk to its keep its members in line, to just that all their members aren't in lockup, is represented by the amount of HP they have, and also their max HP, because they can get hurt. Their income represents how many fat creds they get per turn, and a fat cred is an abstraction of money and credit and all this sort of thing. Hey, Will, and I know you do. Everyone loves spreadsheets. They can be, I believe, a fat cred is equivalent to 10,000 or 100,000 in monies. Fat creds are a measure of a faction's general wealth and resources spent to purchase and maintain assets or carry out faction operations. Fat cred doesn't necessarily represent a certain sum of credits, so much represents logistics capability, available resources, and managerial focus. Doesn't actually say. As well as the thing that they gave a kind of rough analysis of it. I think it was 10,000 credits. So there's a fair amount of money there. We'll get to how much they have in a moment. The tags represent the kind of group they are. So the Sons of the Spike are a psychic academy. They are capable of training psychics, is what they do. And they're very much into that. And if you were a psychic, you could get trained from them. You might have difficulty because, they're based on a planet that hates psychics. But yeah, that's the thing. Renault Securities are a mercenary group. That's what it says on the tin. Barsay Enterprises are plutocratic. They fucking worship money. Their sector is basically like Shadowrun, the worlds. Super Cyberpunk, corporations of one. Yeah, that's what they're about. The Evilise Combine, very much technical expertise. That's kind of how they became the planetary government. It's like, we have the technical know-how to make it so we can survive on this horrifically inhospitable world. Truly, really bad place to be. Planetary government. This is a secondary tag saying that the planetary government got gorgeous, which represents they can buy things that other people can't on certain planets. The Divine Emperor of Thrasymedis are deep-rooted. They are... The idea of the Emperor and the faction that kind of controls this planet is so... It's ingrained in the religion, the culture, the political structure, so much so into the general psyche that it's very hard for them to be shaken. And finally, Ombre de Etoile, very secretive. All these people need to swap planets. Well, they're trying to get off, but also some people like their home. Shockingly enough. The Divine Emperor of Thrasymedis also, as you can see, they're based off the same homeworld. The Divine Emperor of Thrasymedis have claimed that all psychics are secretly demons in human form attempting to imitate and poor imitations of the Emperor, who is apparently, well, we met him last time, he's 100 years old and looks about 25, and can survive rockets to him, his unarmored self, and levitate large groups of people. Hello, magic. Yeah, so the Ombre de Etoile, very secretive group, keep themselves, but they pull a lot of strings. Excuse me. Homeworld represents which planet these people are kind of come from. How relevant that is not necessarily huge. Obviously, in the case of the Sons of the Spike and the Divine Empire, pretty relevant. Whereas Renlost Securities, they kind of are everywhere these days. Bars Enterprises spread across that sector, but their base of operations is on Alshaf. Evilise Combine, based off of Gorgias. The Divine Emperor of Thrasymedis, and Ombre de Etoile, they started on Catalactus, they're now spreading out bit by bit by bit. By the way, all of these tags offer you certain special abilities. For instance... Oh, sorry. So, here we go. Deep-rooted. The faction can roll 1 additional d10, but if any gets attacks in their homeworld. If the faction ever changes homeworlds, the tag is lost. Stuff like that. We'll explain how that stuff works in a little while. And finally, they all have goals. Goals are how you accumulate XP, because everyone starts with 0 XP, which I should fill in. So, the Sons of the Spike will get XP if they destroy the foe. Their foe, the Divine Emperor of Thrasymedis. Renlost Securities will get XP if they commit an intelligence coup, which is to say they destroy... Intelligence coup, goals... Destroy a number of cunning assets of rival factions equal to your faction's cunning rating. The reason they want to do this is not because they're, big into cunning warfare and things like that, is because they're like, yo, fucking nerdery won't protect you here out in space. You need guns. You need our guns. So they're going to go around knocking over people's, telescopes and shit to convince them that the universe is a big scary place and that everyone needs them. These guys obviously want to destroy the Divine Empire of Thrasymedis because it's a regime that claims that they're evil demons, and they're like, yeah, we're people. We just like to be able to live on our home planet and not be persecuted. Hello, Geeky. The Bars Enterprises are into commercial expansion. They want to grow and grow and grow. And make more money and more money and more money. Somewhat. The Evilise Combine wish to expand their influence. Their thing is that they are, they're a very ingenious little group based off of this horrific planet they've carved a niche out for themselves on. Their problem is they're stuck there in the corner of the galaxy. I'll just show you on the map, but Gorgias is over here in the, I believe, in the Anemoy system? Yes, Gorgias. They're in the Anemoy system. Which kind of makes them a bit player in the ways the sector works. So their thing, they want to get to Alsahaf down in the Bella Node sector and kind of be like, yo, we're a player in all this stuff. We can be cool too. Divine Emperor Thrasymedis also want to expand their influence because they believe that they're run by a god. The god should be in charge. Yes, roughly an hour. And finally, Ombre de Etoile. Well, when you're a secretive criminal organization and you're into drug dealing and generally having a finger in every illegal pie in the sector, you want to be everywhere. So they want to be inside enemy territory. Which means that they have to be, they have to sneak bases and assets onto planets under stealth. And I did come up with all these names myself, Sue. I did indeed. I'm quite proud. Well, I didn't come up with the planets. The planets are random generated for me. But all of the faction names were me. And finally, this last column, the XP is obvious. The last column is the relationship. It's not anything to do with interfactions. It's the relationship of that faction to the wildcards. So, Sons of Spike quite like them, because they just did a good job for them. The Evilese Combine also quite like them, because they did a good job for them. As the Divine Emperor Thrasmedis actually also weirdly like the wildcards, because a bunch of the representatives are on TV having defended the Emperor from terrorists. So, they're kind of like weirdo celebrities at the moment, despite no one having a fucking clue who they are. The robot, the bird, the Dutch, the space Dutch American, and well, I guess Evelyn wasn't actually on the cameras, so you know. And finally, Ombre de Etoile, the wildcards are in debt to them, to the tune of a fairly large amount of credits, as we saw at the end of the last session. But that may get resolved, and when it does, that might open up new opportunities. Excuse me, sorry. Okay, so we're going to go through some things, and it's going to get a little interesting. So first thing we have to do, actually, is give everyone some stuff. And everyone gets a lot of stuff. It's probably the thing I should actually have done before we got here, but hey, you know. So, here's all the kinds of stuff people can buy. Force, cunning, and wealth. And also there's experience ratings, how you raise your skills and stuff down at the bottom. But that's not important right now. First thing we need to do is this. So, there's actually specific rules laid out for how many things people get. So I will flip back open my rules quickly, and I will scroll down to here. So, there are three kinds of like factions at the beginning. You have minor powers, you have major powers, and you have regional hegemons. Minor powers, people like the Sons of the Spike, they are limited in their capacities. You'll notice they have a very small stat line. 4, a 3, and a 1. Major powers, like Renlost Securities, get 6, a 5, and a 3. And finally, regional hegemons, like Barca Enterprises, who have like massive sway on several planets, get an 8, a 7, and a 5. A lot of these people are major powers. The Sons of the Spike are the only minor powers we're currently interested in. We might see some more later on. We'll see. So, we start actually, each faction, like how many things they start with is defined by the size of the faction. So, the Sons of the Spike will start with one asset in their major stat and one asset in their minor stat. And for the sake of this thing, they can only have things up to their maximum rating. So they can have a Cunning 4 asset. So let's have a look at Cunning. What can they get with Cunning 4? Oh my god. They can have cyber ninjas. I mean, ooh, they could have cyber ninjas, guys. I think they might get Vanguard cadres though at first, like people willing to like fight for them. Maybe some cyber ninjas later on. Yeah, maybe some cyber ninjas later on. So let's grab some Vanguard cadres, asset tracker. And the owner of these is the Sons of the Spike. Oh no, I don't want to do that. Ooh, look at this. Sons of the Spike. These guys are in Hex. This is in the battle system, so 203. 203. Battle, and on the planet Gorgias. Cool, see? Yeah, I know. Cyber ninjas, right? There's some cool things in these lists. As you get further down, they get crazy. They also get a Force 3 asset. They're actually a very poor like group, so they don't... And I think, well, maybe they get Zealots as well, or a counter-intel unit. Ooh, maybe the counter-intel unit's pretty good. They're like a scared group of kind of terrorists, kind of psychic, like, hideout people. So a counter-intel unit sounds like a kind of thing they might need to stay one step ahead of the game. Because otherwise, you know, they get caught and whatever the hell happens to them, happens to them. So, counter intel unit, and same again. 0203, Batul, Gorgias. So that's what they are. When I was young, who doesn't want to be a cyber ninja when they grow up? Alright, so how much does a major power get? Major power has 2 assets in the primary attribute and 2 assets in different attributes. Okay. So, next on our list is Rendloss Securities, who have 6 force. So we need to give them a couple of force things. They can have some pre-tech infantry. It's tech level 5, though. It might be a bit much for them. They have psychic assassins. A blockade fleet. I think they definitely need at least 1 strike fleet. That feels like a thing they need. Actually, I remember. So Renloss Security. Now I think they start off in a part of space that's actually incredibly dangerous. The planet Hanifa, which is in the 0603, over in the Metanera sector, is like really dangerous part of the world. And basically, before they kind of became this space floating mercenary unit, they were just kind of like this army that kept their planet safe. Hanifa is safe because these guys like go, hell fucking no. You are not getting in onto our planet. That sector is crawling with bad guys, lots of old abandoned space stations to function as bases, things like that. But the Renloss Securities were like, hell no, this is our planet. You do not come here. So I will give them grav tank for. Oh my god, yep. Oh, that's also got level 5. Why is everything to level 5? Sad face. I will give them some psychic assassins currently. Actually, no. I'm going to give them pre-tech infantry. I'm going to give them a set of pre-tech infantry because I know exactly who that will be. Rendloss Securities. Pre-tech infantry. You will be based currently on the planet. So, they're currently going to be based out of Bella Node. And they will be on the planet Al Sahaf. So that is Bella Node. Planet Al Sahaf. Hex number 0106. That is actually, so we saw a video from a lady known as Nina Castillo, I believe, who said her boys were on shore leave. Her and her boys, this group. We'll probably see more of them as we go through this game. We need another force asset for these guys, worth 6 or below. I think a strike fleet makes some sense. Like, giant space group should have a strike fleet of some description. Yeah, I feel so. I also at some point need to work out all the planets on which they have bases of influence, which I might do off stream. It was a thing I should have done off stream before this, but I forgot. These guys won't be in Belnode. These guys will be in Hanifa. On Hanifa. So that was on the Metanera system. Metanera. Keeping their home planet safe, along with their, like, base. 0603. They owe 10k credits to secret criminalization, they don't even know. Exactly, well, because they owe 10,000 credits to, like, one guy out of it. It's like owing, if you owe a member of the Mafia, you technically owe the Mafia, but in actuality you only know you owe that guy. And that's what they've happened. They accidentally got into bed with the Mafia. And they need 2 assets in their other things. So let's have a look at what they can get in wealth that might help them out a bit. So they have 5 wealth. Medical center sounds sensible. I mean, so do mercenaries, but they are mercenaries. So I guess, well, it might be just hired people. Let's have a... What else is there? Marketers. Marketers sound interesting. What are marketers? Marketers to be deployed to confuse enemy factions into untimely investments and paralyze them with incompatible hardware and software. Its actions marketers make it cunning versus wealth against a rival faction's asset. If successful, the target action must immediately pay half the asset's purchase cost, round it down, and have it become disabled and useless until they do pay. So then maybe they just have like a bunch of like really ruthless marketing executives on this planet are like, yo, we're gonna say a bunch of shitty things, then you have no defenses, and then suddenly you just lose, like, our space marines swoop in and take all your stuff. I find that quite funny. I find it really good that, like, the best advertising campaigns in the sector are, like, this bunch of, big-ass bullies in Renloss. That sounds hilarious to me. So let's do that. Because, yeah. And those guys will be based on Alsa, in the Battle Node system on Alsa half. Because they want to destroy some cunning assets, so they got to like chip away at these people's cunning stuff, and they're able to read the rest of the universe and go, hey, no, you need us. We're the most useful thing. They're just like cranking out advertisements. I guess we should look at maybe one cunning thing for them. Maybe they get a Cyber Ninja. One moment, please. Damn it! Coughing, people. I hate it. I hate this bloody cold. I want it gone. Very badly. It wasn't anything particularly interesting. I'm just trying to figure out what I get for them for the next thing. What do we think, people? What do you think? They can get anything from Wealth 5 downwards? So they can get anything from Wealth 5 downwards or Cunning 3 downwards. So they could get Cyber Ninjas. They could get a Shipping Combine. Medical Center. I don't know. I think I'm just going to give them Cyber Ninjas. Like, give this bunch of, like, super assassins. And I'll put those on Hanifa as well. That seems good. Okay, next on the list, Barse Enterprises, who are a hegemon. So they get 4 wealth assets, and then 4 spread across their cunning and force. And they're a big heckin' deal. So 4 wealth assets. Damn. R&D department allows smooth extension of wealth creation and industrial principles. The files reach the faction's operations. Faction with an R&D department may treat all plans as having technical for purposes of purchasing wealth assets. That's pretty good. Pre-tech manufacturing. Ooh, baby. They just get money. Scavenger fleets can be very rarely be persuaded. Oops. The hell did it go? Where'd my thing go? Oh dear. Scavenger fleets can very readily persuade to throw in with factions. These ragtag armadas bring enormous technical and mercantile resources to their patrons, along with a facility with heavy guns. Faction scavenger fleet can be moved to anywhere within 3 hexes. They cost 2 fat creds a turn in maintenance. Damn. Damn. I'm gonna give them this. This sounds hilarious. It's just got this massive, like, fuck off armada that goes around, like, scavenging old ships and stuff. So these are the Barcet Enterprises. Scavenger Fleet. They will currently be in... They're currently being used as, like, this giant, like, absolutely huge mining operation going on in the Belanode sector over the planet that I don't remember the name of because it's the only one we've not talked about. Hala. This, like, entire planet that's constantly, like, exploding and throwing up really expensive stuff and useful assets, and they're just there, just, like, grabbing all of it. So I'm also going to give them... So they're spending a lot of money keeping those guys alive. So actually I should mark a thing on the faction tracker for them, because that costs them extra money a turn. How do I add note? Insert note. -2 per turn for scavenger fleet. There we go. Excuse me. I'm gonna give them a pre-tech manufactory so they can like make tech level 4 stuff on planets they work on. Ooh. You can also get pre-tech researchers, blockade runners. What is a monopoly? Monopoly assets involve open assets, stranglehold on certain valuable business or resource on a world. As an action known as a monopoly, may force one of the faction with unstealth assets on the world to pay them 1 fat cred. Target faction got that money, they lose 1 asset of their choice on the world. Damn, that's pretty good. I'm gonna give them that. That sounds really useful. And I will also give them that pre-tech manufactory. So they're just pumping out pre-tech stuff. Belanode is becoming a very busy part of the sector. That is in El Sahaf, definitely. Oh, sorry, other way around. This is in El Sahaf. This is on Aniz. Their monopoly on Aniz is basically that they control Aniz. Sorry. And if you're on Aniz, you want to buy food, you buy it from them. You want to buy electricity, you buy it from them. You want to buy a drink, you buy it from them. Like, they own that planet, basically. It's not a nice place to be. It's actually where one of our main characters, Evie, lived for a little while. And finally, shipping combine. It's not bad. Post-tech industry. It's pretty decent as well. Is there a way for them to just make lots of money? Venture capital. Yeah, okay, give the venture capital. That's what I will give them. That's just a way for them to make crap tons of money. And that is on Al's half as well. Cool. So they've got a bunch of stuff. Next, they get 4 assets spread across their other things. So they have 4 assets in both force and cunning to get. I think they've got to definitely have like some private security forces, and because they can make tech level 5 stuff, or they're not quite able to get pre-tech infantry. I think a blockade fleet is definitely something of theirs. We'll keep doing this one. We need to fill all of these. We'll give them a blockade fleet. We'll give them some post-tech infantry, both of which they have on a NIS. And then some cunning assets, I think, is what we should do next. Cunning, so they have cunning 7 or less. A book of secrets assets. Ooh. Represents exhaustively catalogued psychometric records and important and influential local figures, allowing uncanny action to predict their actions. Spend a book of secrets allows the faction to re-roll 1 die for an action taken on that world, or force the enemy faction to re-roll 1 die. This re-roll can only be forced once per turn, I presume, no matter how many book of secrets are owed. Okay. Yeah, I think that's going to represent like their corporate files on like everyone on this planet. So let's give that to them. Book of Secrets. And we'll put that on Al Sahaf. So, I think it exists in a careful state. We'll probably meet other corporations that work off of this planet at some later point. But yeah, I think that's going to be part of theirs. Covert transit net facilitate of an aerospace network of smugglers and grey market freight captains in action. Any special forces assets can move between any worlds within 3 next hexes of the covert transit net. Damn. I don't know. I don't know about that. I think a demagogue. We'll give them a demagogue, is what we're going to give them, which I think will represent their CEO. Like, their CEO is a kind of Bill Gates type, very influential person who manages to make it seem not so creepy that they've got, like, an entire planet enslaved. Even though it really, really should be. Cool. There we go. There's Barca Enterprises stuff. One moment, please. I did. Sorry, yes. So, Evilise Combine. Currently based off their home planet, have covert transit net, which is all to do with shipping kind of their private military goods all over the universe. That is 0002. 0002. Sector is Anemoy. And the planet is Gorg, yes. Yes, I do apologize, I keep muting myself. I'm trying to avoid getting my coughs on the recording and on going out on stream, and then I forget to unmute myself because, you know, I have a perfect memory, people. And another wealth thing they should have. Oh, no, I was looking at the wrong thing. Was I looking at the wrong thing? I was looking at the wrong thing. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. Can they have that then? They cannot have that. Okay, my bad. Asset tracker. Get rid of that. They need a wealth assets. Wealth assets. So they can have up to 6. I'll give them venture capital again. They're just producing money because they work. Ooh, maybe an R&D department. Nah, I don't know. They don't have many worlds. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Okay. I'll give them a commodities broker because I think the thing about these guys is that they're very So this allows you to reduce the cost of things. And I'll put him on Alsa half. Because he's going to be there, like, buying and trading stuff. Actually, no, I'll leave him on their home planet. On their home planet, of course, yes. The next thing we'll give them will be... Oh, no, I don't want that. I wanted this. We'll give them venture capital as a way to make money, I think. That makes sense to them. They want to make money as well, but they are also able to kind of be very smart about how they spend it because they're a very cautious like group. They live on a world that like keeps trying to basically murder everyone on it, so they've learned to be very like frugal and reuse a lot of things. I'll just put Gorgias. And then they can have one of each of the other two. So I'll give them a force asset, I think. So they have force of 3, correct? Yep. Nah. Elite skirmishers, high lightly equipped troops, trained for guerrilla warfare and quick raids. Hardened personnel. Employed support staff for the faction that was trained in defensive fighting. Locations and hard follow-up positions. Heavy drop assets. Maybe not, maybe not. What have they got for cunning 5 and down? I'll give them... What's this? So, balls are equipped with a number of post-tech innovations to make clearing them out a costly and dangerous pursuit. If a faction, special force, or military unit assist on the same planet, that's on the same planet as the ball, suffers damage sufficient to destroy it, is instead set at 0 HP and rendered untouchable and unusable until it is repaired to full strength. If the bottles are destroyed before this happens, the asset is destroyed with them. Okay, that's pretty interesting. Kind of like that. I'll give them some bolt holes on their home planet. Places that are just too dangerous for any off-worlder to even like get to. And let's have a look what the last one I can give them. I don't know if that makes sense. I think I'll give them some organization moles. Organization will subvert and confuse enemy assets, striking to damage their cohesion. Ooh. I think we need some organization moles and put them on the planet of on Alsa half, which is like their like kind of it's like disguised there as lobbyists to get them like the required permissions so that they can like do business on this planet, but they're like actually gathering information, chatting shit, and generally just playing the corporate game. I'm massively overrunning, I've just realised. Ooh, we may have to do a second part of this tomorrow sometime. Because I do not have time to finish this off today, because I actually haven't even done the turn yet. This is like turn 0. God. Okay, so that's the home planet. So the Divine Emperor of Thrasimedes, who have Force 6. So let's give them some cool Force stuff. Psychic Assassins. Does the Emperor keep Psychic Assassins on hand? Definitely has planetary defenses. That's a thing he definitely has. So, so there are like huge space cannons and like a surrounding like array of space stations to keep off people from like invading his planet. Planetary defenses. And that is on the planet of Thrasimedes. Hmm. Pretech Logistics. I'm going to give them a strike fleet as well, I believe. Yeah, the planet that claims that all psychics are, like, evil monsters and it keeps a group of psychic assassins on hand. I think I'm going to give them just post-tech infantry. It's just, like, ground troops. Just guys with guns there to shoot stuff. Alright, so then we need maybe a cunning one. This is going to be the party machine in this case. Political blocks to control particular cities or regions, blocks that firmly control the faction. Each turn, a party machine provides one fat credit to its only faction. Yeah, these guys are just there to whip up the hype. They're very much like, yo, the Empire's great. You should all love and respect the Empire. Because the Emperor is great to us. He'll do right by us. And also I can then put... So that thing just said, party machine... Each turn, party machine provides one fat credit to its only faction, so I need to up their income by 1. So insert note. Party machine plus 1 cred. Okay. And then finally, they can either have one more thing, so they can have some secret cyber ninjas. I can give the Empire some cyber ninjas to guard him. I think I might do that. I like that. Let's give him some cyber ninjas. Got like a Black Ops unit. So this is the kind of like place that Thrasimedes is. This guy is entrenched and like will mess you up. You do not mess with his planet. Not necessarily very rich though, so they might want to fix that. Okay. So yeah, like we've got big ass planetary cannons, a huge ground army, his Black Ops ninja unit, and then like yeah, just this political hype machine that's like the Empire is great, the Empire is strong, the Emperor will protect us. You may be wondering, but Finbar, why aren't these people like gods of the sector when we just saw their like Emperor just like without lifting a finger like psychically eviscerate 20 people? And the answer is you will have to watch the show to find out. Maybe you never will. Maybe you never will. Finally, Hombre de Étoile. So, they have Cunning 6. They don't have a Demagogue. That doesn't make sense. So they have a specific thing, actually, of... Hombre de Étoile, their secretive tag, gives them an ability. Oh no, I don't want to go here. I can go to here. All assets purchased by this faction automatically begin stealthed. See the list of cunning assets for details on stealth. So they automatically have stealthed stuff. So when it lands on another planet, the other factions can't see it, don't know it's there. So, I think Book of Secrets doesn't actually. Okay, so I think they're going to have organization moles. Nombre de Étoile. Organization moles based on Al-Sahaf in companies like Barcem, because yeah, you know, you got a lot of high-powered exec types. You're gonna have a lot of high-powered drug users. There's a lot of money and a lot of power moving through that sector and through that planet. They want people in high places there. I think they have a covert transit net. That would make sense. Based on their home planet, which allows them to ship things around. Covert transit net. And this will be based on their home planet, which is Catalactus? Catalactus, yes. That is also Ombre de Étoile. So treachery is so there's like types of things. This is a tactic. They're not cunning 7, so they can't get it yet, but so treachery can attack an enemy asset. On a successful attack, the treachery asset is lost. 5 fact credits are gained, and the targeted asset switches sides to join the traitor's faction. Even if the faction does not otherwise have the attributes necessary to purchase it. Okay. So yeah, you can spend your asset to gain some money and steal a different asset from someone else. So if you go like, hey, like, your blockade fleet looks super cool. They're my blockade fleet now. Lol, I blockade your planet. I just bought, like, your space captains, and now I own the blockade fleet that you were using to keep everyone off. So they also have 5 wealth and 3 force. Monopoly assets, target faction. Shipping combine? I think they have mercenaries. I think that's what they have. They have mercenaries. Which might actually be they just have like a mercenaries. And they have them based on Catalactus. And actually, I need to put this thing here. That is... I'm going to use this lovely blue to represent stealth. All their things are stealthed, because they're not a planetary government, so they're not really supposed to have a lot of this stuff, but they're just like, lol, we're in charge here. Don't be a prick. Hey, Scadstar, good to see you. And... together. Okay. Sorry, there's a song stuck in my head. What else can they have? Union toughs, lawyers. They just have like kick-ass lawyers who keep their who keep all their like high-level operatives out of jail. Cunning versus wealth. It's tempting. Tempting. I think they're going to have harvesters. Just a way to make some money. Do they have any better ways of making money? Post-tech industry? What's the A tag? I forget what the A tag is. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna give them post-tech industry, which is going to represent their, like, assorted, scattered, groups they've got going around. Oh dear, Control Z. So that's stealthed as well. No one knows that they're like, just that they're. This is like the extent of their operation that they've got going on, where they're like just cranking out drugs. They're the Walter Whites, but instead of working out like caravans, they've got mini factories spread across their home planet, just cranking out drugs and stuff. Actually, I know what that's not going to be on. That's going to be on Elsa Have. No, I guess it's got to be on Catalactus, because otherwise, what's the point of having their covert transit net there? Yeah. Okay, I actually ran out of time, and I haven't even done the first turn yet. So what we'll do is we'll look at income, and we'll do that quickly, and then we'll get more into it next time round. So this will be turn 0, and I'll do turn 1 sometime over the weekend, before the next session. But this just gives you a little bit of an insight into the kind of groups that are moving around the sector, the kind of things they've got and going on. This isn't a cohesive list. Like, we know, for instance, that the Ombre de Etoile, they have something based off of Thrasymedes, or Jace's setup. It's just not as huge and relevant a deal. So each turn they gain their income. So they gain 2, these guys gain 5. Barse Enterprises gain 7, but lose 2 for the Scavenger Fleet. So they gain 5. The Evil East Combine gain 5. The Divine Emperor Thrasymedes gain 4. And Ombre de Etoile gain 5. Oh, actually, sorry. The Divine Emperor Thrasymedes gain 5 because they have +1 from their assets. So, this is what we're looking at so far. Sons of the Spike. This list is not exhaustive. It will grow over time. For instance, both in like one thing, the Divine Emperor Thrasimedis might go around and conquer the other planets in the Batul sector. So 0203, so they go conquer Etihadia and Thorhild. It also might mean we get more factions. For instance, we've not met there's the bird people of Avok, who might be a faction of themselves. Who knows? Might be. I think there'll be more corporations on Al Sahaf that will be relevant in the time to come. When we do that, I'll probably create them, go through it with you guys, talk it out with you, make some interesting stuff. It's gonna be very cool. For now, though, I say thank you for coming. I hope you enjoy messing around with spreadsheets with me. I will try to do the next part of this tomorrow afternoon or over the weekend. If you miss it, live on my channel, best way to find out when I'm doing it on my channel is to follow me on Twitter. I tweet before I go live. I tweet a couple of hours before I go live. You can find my Twitter address down there below. Or just by following the stream. If you miss it live, it will go up on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/MathandTV. Again, panels below. Which is also where you can find all my old stuff, including the big long Apocalypse War campaign I ran, and all the GM content I did surrounding that. And if all else fails, come back to twitch.tv/EncounterRoleplay, Tuesday, 9 PM GMT, 3 PM EST, or 4 PM EST? 4 PM EST, where we shall play more wildcards. Shoot space lasers. And it'll be great. Until that time, it's been a pleasure seeing you all. In half an hour, if you're live, they should be going live over on twitch.tv/EncounterRoleplay to play some Westmarch's stuff, which should all be very exciting. And you should go check that out, because it's going to be quite cool. It's twitch.tv/EncounterRoleplay. That is indeed him in the chat, if you're live. That's Will. He's a terrible person. But yeah, go watch that. Be cool. Until next time, I love you. I'll leave you. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.